Hi everyone, I am Mitra and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to discuss about types of joints. This is a very daunting topic and most of the students are scared. I'll try to make it as easy as possible. Just follow what I'm saying. Now, types of joints. There are two types of classifications: structural and functional. Functional classification. This is simpler and easier. So we'll discuss this one first. According to this classification, there are three types of joints: diarthrosis, amphiarthrosis, and synarthrosis. Now, what are these? Functional. What are joints for moving? Now, diarthrosis are freely mobile joints. Amphiarthrosis are slightly mobile. And synarthrosis are immobile, immovable joints. So, there are two types of classification of joints: structural and functional. Functional is simple one. We classify the joints based on their mobility. There are three types: diarthrosis, amphiarthrosis, and synarthrosis. Diarthrosis are freely mobile joints. Amphiarthrosis, amphiarthrosis slightly mobile joints. Synarthrosis immovable joints. Now let's go to structural classification. Structural classification. In this again there are three types of joints: synovial joints, cartilaginous joints, and fibrous joints. Now, why are they called like this? Synovial joints are called so because they are characterized by the presence of synovial cavity. There is a joint capsule surrounding the joint, and the ends of the bones are covered by articular cartilage, and the joint is freely mobile. So, all synovial joints are diarthrosis. They are all freely mobile because they have synovial cavity. Next, cartilaginous joints. Why are they called cartilaginous joints? Because the two bones are joined by cartilage. So, cartilage joins the bones. I'll explain it in further detail. Fibrous joints, as the name implies, fibrous tissue joins bones. So, let's come again. There are two types of classification of joints: structural and functional. Functional classification based on their mobility. Diarthrosis, freely mobile joints. Amphiarthrosis, slightly mobile joints. Synarthrosis, immovable joints. And structural classification: synovial joints, cartilaginous joints, fibrous joints. Synovial joints are characterized by synovial cavity, which lubricates the joints, and Synovial joints are characterized by synovial cavity. Cartilaginous joints, the ends of bones are connected by cartilage. And fibrous joints, fibrous tissue joins the bones. Now, let's go the easier way. Let's start with fibrous joints. There are three types of fibrous joints. They are sutures, syndesmosis, gomphosis. So, fibrous joints are sutures, syndesmosis, and gomphosis. Example of sutures are found between skull bones. For example, lambdoid suture, and syndesmosis. Syndesmosis is between tibia and fibula in ankle joint. Gomphosis, these are peg and socket joints between tooth and socket. Now, we need to correlate this with functional classification. Sutures are synarthrosis, they are immovable. Syndesmosis, they are slightly mobile. So it is amphiarthrosis. Gomphosis, immobile. So synarthrosis again. So we finished fibrous, let's go to cartilaginous. Cartilaginous joints. It is fairly simple. There are two types of cartilaginous joints. Synchondrosis, as you can expect, and symphysis. Remember that I'm not mentioning it, but if I put I as symphysis, it is singular. If I put es, it is plural. It is same with synchondrosis, this is plural form. And gomphosis, this is singular. If I put here e instead of I, it is plural. Syndesmosis, if I put e here instead of I, it will become plural. And this diarthrosis is singular and diarthrosis is plural. It's same with all these three. IS is singular, ES is plural. Don't be confused. Now, synchondrosis. What did we discuss about cartilaginous joints? Cartilage has to join the two ends. Synchondrosis, example, it's a widely known example, epiphyseal plate. Epiphyseal plate is a cartilage which joins epiphysis and diaphysis. So it's not exactly a joint, but it is joining two parts of a bone. So another example is sternocostal joint. The ribs, before attaching to the sternum, there is a costal cartilage intervening between them. The ribs don't extend all towards the bone. There is a cartilage which joins the ribs and sternum. So it is a type of synchondrosis. Symphysis, a widely known example, pubic symphysis, mental symphysis, etc. Now, let's correlate again. This is an anatomical classification, cartilaginous joints. Now let's correlate with functional classification. Synchondrosis, are epiphyses movable? Are sternocostal movable? No. So synchondrosis are synarthrosis, means immovable joint. Symphysis, for the delivery of the baby, pubic symphysis has to relax. So it is slightly mobile, it is amphiarthrosis. Let's revise everything again. Types of joints, two classifications, structural and functional. Functional classification, diarthrosis, amphiarthrosis and synarthrosis based on their mobility. Diarthrosis, freely mobile, amphiarthrosis, slightly mobile, synarthrosis, immobile. Structural classification, synovial joints, cartilaginous joints and fibrous joints. Fibrous joints, sutures, syndesmosis and gomphosis. Now, sutures are synarthrosis, they are immobile. Syndesmosis, amphiarthrosis, they are slightly mobile. Gomphosis, immobile. Synarthrosis. Cartilaginous joints, synchondrosis and symphysis. Synchondrosis, they are immobile, so synarthrosis. Symphysis, slightly mobile, so amphiarthrosis. Now let's go to synovial joints. Synovial joints, these are something which most of us know. There are 6 types. These are widely known examples like ball and socket joint, hinge joint, pivot joint, condyloid joint, plane joint, saddle joint. Now, all these are freely mobile, so all are diarthrosis. Ball and socket joint, example, shoulder, hip, incudostapedial joint, etc. Hinge, elbow, ankle is a modified hinge joint. Pivot joint, atlantoaxial joint. Now, here let's clarify one thing. There are 2 joints in the base of the skull, atlantoaxial and atlanto-occipital. Which is for yes and which is for no? Most of the people get confused. Now remember, atlantoaxial, A and A. Let's say it as no. So atlanto-occipital joint is for no movement, and it is a type of pivot joint, which is a type of synovial joint, and which is diarthrosis type. So atlanto-axial joint is for no movement, and it is for side to side movement of head. And atlanto-occipital joint, which is for yes movement, so it's for forward bending of head. Don't get confused now. Okay, condyloid joint, it is at wrist joint between radius, scaphoid and lunate. Plane joint between navicular and second cuneiform. And saddle joint between trapezium and first metacarpal. Let's revise again. Synovial joints, ball and socket joint, shoulder and hip joint, hinge joint, elbow, ankle, pivot joint, atlantoaxial joint, which is for no movement. Condyloid joint at wrist between radius, scaphoid and lunate. Plane joint between navicular and second cuneiform, and saddle joint between trapezium and first metacarpal. All these are diarthrosis. All are freely mobile. All of these are diarthrosis. And in fibrous joint, sutures are immobile. They are synarthrosis, syndesmosis, amphiarthrosis because slightly mobile, And gomphosis, synarthrosis, immobile, synchondrosis, immobile, so synarthrosis, symphysis, slightly mobile, so amphiarthrosis. So we have basically combined the structural and functional classification, and I hope you understood this. Revise it once again, and you have to frequently keep revising or else you'll forget. This is a very basic topic and you cannot forget this topic. So I hope you learned something today. See you in my next video. Bye.